What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq, would we? All right, because there's a few things going on. There's some misunderstandings that I definitely want to straighten out, that's for sure. So there's a lot of chatter about what these talks are about, and I don't want people to get misled, so we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it, make sure you guys got money outside of the system. It's really important. Gold and silver is what you're going to need. So when you go to buy your gold and silver, go to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. And you guys know I have this alternative website where I can post videos over here that I can't post on this particular channel, but I do want to highlight one that's on here now. That's important. Well, actually, these two are really big. This is big. If you ever wanted to hear one about what's going on, this is huge. But this one here today is the update on the yip and yip. And you can see what it means when the people get educated and learn about their rights and how they fight back. It'll blow your mind when you watch the video. You guys know over here we got a free Facebook group. It's called Pimpy's Investment Chat. It's the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we can talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. It's free to join, so come on over. So anyways, in the news for the most part, because you can go down here and there's a lot of things going on, but mostly it has to do with the Prime Minister coming here, Al-Kadhimi. And there's all kinds of things being said about the 2008 agreement. So one of the things that was brought up that caught my attention is, hey, if they go back to 2008 agreement, and does that mean the rate's going to go up? Everybody wants to know if the rate's going to go up. Okay, we're going to cover that here in just a moment, but you can see all the articles pretty much touch on the same thing about the visit here. Now, Al-Kadhimi's coming here on a mission, dude. He's going to be pretty damn straightforward about what it is that he wants. He doesn't like the fact that the United States and Iran are still bumping heads in the middle of his particular country. So it's not good. I'm just going to read here that we're going to cover something else. So it says Foreign Minister Hussein clarified on Wednesday that the fourth round of dialogues are about to start. So to the press, he said the meeting of the Prime Minister and the President to discuss the overall Iraq-American relations, including not maintaining any U.S. bases in Iraq. So they want them to clear out of there. And it is about time for us to kick off the training wheels and let Iraq start doing their thing and take it over, their own country. You see, because this goes back to, I say this all the time, they're trying to earn back their sovereignty. People are like, oh, they're sovereign. No, they're not 100% sovereign. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Sovereignty, supreme power or authority. Nope, that's not it. The authority of a state to govern itself or another state. A self-governing state. They're not governing. There's the things they still have. They manage their own government. I get that. But you notice how they have to check in for certain things. They check in with the United States for certain things, and they check in with the United Nations for certain things. What I think this does, in my opinion, this 2008 is a pretty big step towards making sure they get their own sovereignty, period. And what I mean by that is total. They don't have to check in to nobody. They don't have to deal with nobody. Okay, that's just them. They don't have to come over here and kiss anybody's butt. They don't have to have the UN come in and check on them. They are self-governing. There's no issues. They are operating on their own 2 feet. Okay, now I understand people got different definitions of what it means. Okay. And yeah, for the most part, people are going to say, oh, they're sovereign nations. They do govern themselves. No, they govern themselves. But you notice that you will see the Prime Minister having to deal with the UN and they're dealing with the United States. The fact that the military is there, we really need to get them out of there. Okay? But the reason why I bring that up is this. A sovereign nation has to have a valuable currency to function. They don't have to get no loans or nothing like that. Now, I'm not saying there's a rate change that's going to happen, but in my opinion, it's sure one hell of a step forward into the possibility of strengthening the Iraqi dinar. Like how I worded that, because I ain't getting suckered into that stuff. So here's the deal. So anyways, he's going over there, Al-Kadhimi, and I do like him, and I hope he does change his mind. I hope he does run. It says the dialogue rounds will witness the agreement on scheduling American withdrawal. Get them out of there. The Americans are present in Iraqi camps, not Americans, and some say and declare. Okay. The other part down here, the Saudi-Iranian dialogue is mediated by Iraq, as well as the Turkish-Egyptian dialogue. And our discussions with Iran has sometimes resulted in stopping the targeting of diplomatic missions and airports. Noted that we ask Iran to intervene with some elements of the groups to stop targeting airports and diplomatic missions in Iraq. So they're at least working together. That's what you want to see happening. It says we need a rational dialogue to reach an agreement between the state and a so-called no state, noting that Iraq needs to build a state and not a revolution, and we will raise the issue of scheduling the withdrawal of the U.S. combat forces during the strategic dialogue. Now, we did pull out of Afghanistan, which caused a huge problem. But these people have to really start fighting for themselves. So here they're asking for a withdrawal, and they have been for a little while. And if getting the United States out of there and allowing these people to start working on their own, this is a big step in my opinion. So people keep asking about the 2008 agreement. Okay? I'll leave the links to this so you guys can come and check it out. But just to sum it up really quick, you can see right here, this is the framework. These are the agreements that the United States and the government of Iraq have negotiated, 2 historic agreements. Remember, this is done back in 2008, a strategic frame and agreement that covers our overall political and economic and security relations with Iraq, and a security agreement, otherwise known as the Status of Force Agreement, that implements our security relationship. See, they're counting on the United States for security. That's not being sovereign. Both agreements protect the U.S. interests in the Middle East, help the Iraqi people stand on their own, and reinforce Iraqi sovereignty. The SFA normalizes the U.S.-Iraq relations with strong economic, diplomatic, culture, and security ties, and serves as the foundation for a long-term bilateral relations based on mutual goals. Now, for those of you who didn't catch it, it wasn't that long ago, sometime within the last 2 to 3 weeks, I'll see if I can find it, when they were bugging President Bush again about, hey, didn't you say this war was going to pay for himself? Now, he didn't come out and say it, what we all want him to say. No, he said, it will pay for itself. Then he tried to cover it up by going, it paid for itself with us getting some resources, us getting some oil, you know what I mean? Also, we still pay taxes on it. What are you talking about? The money belongs to the people in the United States that paid for that war that wasn't a war. So I do like this. We'll see what kind of effect it has on it, if indeed they go this direction. I think once the troops are out, you might see some changes. That's just my opinion. The success of the surge of courage of the Iraqi people set the conditions for these historic negotiations. The sustained security gains, increasing capacity and confidence in the Iraqi government and the Iraqi security forces are reasons the United States and Iraqi were able to negotiate these agreements. So basically, look, America is there to make sure there's stability, make sure nobody's coming from terrorist groups messing with them, no problem. They're also there to protect their own special interests, which is usually in oil. And Iraq is like, okay, fine. You guys are here. We allow it. You guys help us get stable. But once we're stable, get the hell out of here. And that's basically where they are. So again, the agreement, the status of force agreement, because that's what it says here. Here, The SFA, the Status Force Agreement, normalizes U.S. relations with strong economic, diplomatic, culture, and security ties. Again, that doesn't say anything's going to happen to the dinar. But as the country becomes the country becomes more reliant on itself and less need of other countries, this is a good thing. It is. So as you go through here, I'll leave the link for this. You guys can come here and see what these agreements are about. They kind of talk to or allude to them just a little bit, not the dinars. Look at the SFA implements the Iraq and U.S. desire for long-term relations based on cooperation and friendship as set out in the Declaration of Principles signed on November 2007. The SFA also includes commitments on defense, security, law enforcement, and judicial cooperation and development. So the United States assisting on reestablishing that. Done. Further improvement of political, diplomatic, and culture cooperation. Kinda. As long as they're there in Iran and them go back and forth is not cool. Not in the backyard of Iraq, that is. Economic, energy, health, environment, technology, and communication cooperation. Now, we know this is happening. Right now, they're working on the energy, which is the electric grid, which is at about 85%. The hospitals, I believe they built 142 new hospitals. God knows they need it because not one, but 2 hospitals burned down magically right in the area where the people have the Rona. Environmental, well, when they put out all those fires where the oil wells are burning, yeah. Communication, cooperation, good. Economic, now this is where we start getting into good stuff. Because if they start coming over, making more agreements, free trade, anything it could to help the economy and strengthen the dollar, that's what we want to see. But definitely we want the UN to come in and say, look, Iraq is good. They're by themselves. There's no need for us to be there any longer. They're reinstated. Because right now we got some sanctions on the dinar. That's why you can't go here and to a bank and exchange them and sell them. Now you can some exchanges if you're traveling. But I'm talking about for large amounts. There are people out there that buy currencies for investment purposes. Sound familiar? So yes, I'll leave the link so you guys can come down here, read this. Don't jump to any conclusions. We want to see them kick off the training wheels and start letting Iraq be on their own and take care of themselves. What we don't want to see is the same thing that's happening in Afghanistan, where you're seeing, over there it is the Taliban rising up. It didn't take them long. It literally took them a matter of days to take back over the capital. We don't want to see that kind of stuff happen in Iraq where we remove ourselves and then all of a sudden ISIS comes in there really quick. Or Al-Qaeda comes in there really quick. We don't want that kind of stuff to happen. So far, everything's looking good. Come on, Al-Qademi, get over here and do your thing. Let's see where we are once he leaves. We'll know where we're standing. So there's not a whole lot, to be quite honest with you, but a lot of people are saying, hey, does it mean a rate change? Well, I mean, no, there's no way there's nothing here that really says it. Now, I'm kind of straddling the fence here, and there's for a reason. There's nothing that specifically says that. There's reason to feel hopeful if we can get this back to this 2008 agreement and get the troops out of there. We already know the economy is flying. We already know the oil prices are up there. We already know that they're done with their deficit, so they're looking good. All right? So, every day we keep getting closer as long as there's no more disturbances there, no more missile attacks, no more suicide bombers, that kind of crap. All right? So it's looking good, you guys. I'll leave the links for this. Let's just feel a little hopeful, not too crazy, no peaks at us in the butt, jumping up and down, kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, that's it for now. I just want to cover it briefly. No, there's nothing in here that specifically talks about it, but there's reason to feel hopeful. All right? Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I truly do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.